Imagine finding a fish, but there is no water around it. You might think the fish is dead. But what if it is not dead at all? What if it is simply waiting in Africa? There is a strange fish that can survive for years without swimming in water. It is called the African lungfish. And this animal has one of the most amazing survival tricks in the natural world. When its home dries up, it does something that sounds almost impossible. It hides inside the mud, builds a protective covering, and enters a special state where its body almost shuts down. African lungfish live in parts of Africa where rivers, ponds, and wetlands can completely dry up. During the rainy season, these places can be full of water. The lungfish swims normally, searches for food, and breathes in the water. It can eat small animals, insects, and other food it finds in its environment. But this fish has something unusual. It has lungs. Yes. A fish with lungs. Most fish depend heavily on their gills to take oxygen from water. But the African lungfish can also come to the surface, and breathe air. Its lungs allow it to take oxygen directly from the air. This becomes extremely important when its environment starts to dry. Now imagine the rainy season is over. The rain stops. The water becomes lower and lower. The pond begins to shrink. The lungfish is now facing a serious problem. Soon, there may be almost no water left. So what does it do? It does not simply wait for death. Instead, it starts digging. The lungfish pushes its body deep into the wet mud. It creates a small chamber around itself. Then something incredible happens. Its body produces a thick layer of mucus. This mucus dries and becomes a protective cocoon. The fish is now sealed inside the mud. And it can stay there for a very long time. Think of this cocoon like a natural survival suit. It helps protect the lungfish from the dry environment. Outside, the temperature can rise. The ground becomes hard and cracked. The water disappears completely. But deep below the ground, the lungfish is still alive. Its body slows down dramatically. Its metabolism becomes much slower. That means its body needs much less energy. And because there is no food around, the fish has to survive using the energy already stored in its body. Its stored energy helps keep it alive. It enters a state called aestivation. Aestivation is like a summer version of hibernation. Some animals slow down during cold winters. The lungfish slows down during hot, dry conditions. But here is an important question. If the fish is buried underground, how does it breathe? This is where its lungs become extremely useful. The African lungfish can breathe atmospheric air. Its lungs take oxygen from the air. Oxygen enters the body, and is carried around by the blood. This allows the fish to survive when there is no water for normal swimming. But it is not sitting there living a normal life. Its entire body is operating in slow motion. Its energy use drops dramatically, its activity becomes extremely low. It is basically waiting for better conditions. Now comes the most unbelievable part. African lungfish can survive extended dry periods. In some conditions, they can remain in this state for years. Reports of survival lasting several years have made the lungfish famous. Some sources describe survival for around 4 years under suitable conditions. But remember, this does not mean every lungfish will automatically survive exactly 4 years. Survival depends on conditions such as temperature, humidity, stored energy, and the environment. The important fact is that the fish can survive extremely long periods of drought. And that is what makes it so special. Inside the fish, many things begin to slow down. The body uses less energy. It moves less. Its muscles become much less active. Its heart works more slowly. Its overall activity becomes very low. This is important because food is not available. There may be nothing to eat. There may be no water to swim in. So the fish has to spend its energy very carefully. It is almost like switching the body into power-saving mode. Just imagine putting your phone into battery saver, but instead of lasting a few extra hours, the fish is trying to survive months or even years. But eventually, the dry season can end. Rain begins to fall. More rain arrives. The dry ground becomes wet again. Water slowly returns. And somewhere underneath the mud, the lungfish is waiting. Water reaches its hiding place. The protective cocoon begins to soften. The fish slowly wakes up. Its eyes open. Its body starts moving again. And finally, it returns to the water. The incredible survival mode is over. The African lungfish may look like an ordinary fish at first. But its body tells a very different story. It has features that help it survive in extreme environments. It can use gills when conditions are right. It can also breathe air using its lungs. It can dig into mud. It can create a protective cocoon. And it can slow down its body dramatically. All of these abilities work together. And together, they give the lungfish a powerful survival strategy. This is especially useful in places where drought is a normal part of life. When water disappears, the lungfish does not have to escape immediately. It can stay hidden. It waits. And waits, until the environment becomes suitable again. For humans, going without water for even a short time is dangerous. Water is essential for our bodies. We need it to keep our cells working. But the lungfish has evolved a completely different strategy. Over a very long period of evolution, its ancestors developed abilities that helped them survive difficult environments. When water disappeared, the fish that could survive dry conditions had an advantage. That survival ability was passed through generations. And today, the African lungfish still has this amazing ability. It is a living example of how powerful adaptation can be. Nature does not always solve problems by making an animal stronger. Sometimes, the smartest strategy is simply to wait. So, how does the African lungfish survive without water? First, it finds wet mud. Then it digs down. It creates a small chamber. Its body produces mucus. The mucus forms a protective cocoon. Then its metabolism slows down. It uses very little energy. Its lungs help it breathe air. Outside, the world can become extremely dry. But underground, the lungfish waits. Then, when the rains return, water comes back. The cocoon breaks down. The fish wakes up. And it goes back to living normally. The African lungfish is a perfect reminder that nature can be stranger than fiction. A fish that can breathe air, dig into the ground, build a protective cocoon, and survive years of harsh dry conditions. It does not fight the drought. It simply waits for the water to return. So the next time you hear someone say, "A fish cannot live without water," remember the African lungfish. Because this strange animal has one simple message: survival is not always about being the strongest. Sometimes, it is about being able to adapt. And the African lungfish may be one of nature's best examples of that. Fish that can wait for the water to come back. And that is what makes the African lungfish truly incredible.